Alright, welcome to another instalment of Warhammer 40,000. It's a classic game, a game we should have played a long time ago. It's Imperial Guard against Necrons, and they'll be playing on this lonely Imperial outpost. It's the battle for the radar station. So the Imperial Guard fencing along there, it's a pine forest, some defences along the front. There's a pine forest along here, there's a few streams, boggy marshland. And coming round, you can see the Imperial Guard compound there. A great statue at the back, barrels piled high, but it'll be across this piece of terrain that the Imperial Guard will be taking on the Necron force. Alright, welcome to our Team 50 Points Necrons versus Imperial Guard Warhammer 40,000 battle report. It's my Necron army here. And just run through the list. So it's 2 Night Sives as dedicated transports, and inside each of those is 6 Necron warriors. Then coming down, it's the Ghost Ark, another dedicated transport, 9 Necron warriors in there, and then my Warlord, the Necron Overlord. A load of upgrades, about 200 points worth there. Resurrection Orb, 2+ save, 3+ invuln save, and a couple other upgrades as well. Nice and tough, that unit. Then another Necron Overlord in a Catacomb Command Barge, and he's just armed with a War Scythe. Then coming across 6 Necron Wraiths, a deadly unit, performed well in previous battle reports. And then 2 heavy supports, 2 monoliths. People questioning why I take the monoliths, but I like them and I want them in the army. They're classic Necron style, so they're in. And then 3 Necron Tomb Spiders, and then with those 2 units of 3 Scarabs. So that's the Necron force, 1850 points. James's Imperial Guard. Now he's fresh from the victory in our Apocalypse game, so this could be a new beginning for James. He's with Imperial Guard. This is one of the armies we've got quite a large collection, so James is able to bring some variety to his list. So he's got a completely new list here, quite different to previous ones, and he's going to run through and tell you what he's got.
Okay, this is my Imperial Guard army. My HQ choice. I have actually 2 HQ choices. I have Lord Commissar Galt, which is this guy here.
It's the first time you used him?
First time I used him, yeah.
Okay.
And I've got a standard company HQ, and the HQ commander is armed with a power fist and a plasma pistol. And I've got a Vox caster, heavy flamer and 2 melters. And dedicated transport is a Chimera with dozer blade and a whole mounted heavy flamer. I have 3 troop choices. My first troop choice is a platoon with 2 squads and a platoon command. Platoon command is armed with Vox caster, flamer and autocannon, and the squads are armed with just a Vox caster and grenade launcher. And it's the same with the other squad.
That squad's the same?
This is actually the same.
Right.
Yeah, equipment.
Okay. Over here?
I have 2 Hellhounds, each equipped with a dozer blade, and I paid the extra 5 points for the smoke launchers.
So that's a squadron?
That's not a squadron, no.
2 separate?
2 separate Hellhounds.
Cool.
Okay. And my heavy support choice, I have Commander PASK, armed with the Vanquisher cannon, whole mounted las cannon, and Sponson's multi-melters, and the PASK upgrade for 50 points. I have 2 demolishers, each equipped with whole mounted las cannon and Sponson heavy bolters. And I have another troops choice. This is a veteran squad with a heavy flamer and 2 melter guns, and the commander is armed with a power fist. And I have a Valkyrie assault carrier equipped with Sponson heavy bolters, hull mounted las cannon, and the missiles that are attached.
Love the Valkyrie, one of my favourite vehicles that Games Workshop have done. It's good to see you got a flyer in the Imperial Guard force. So, nice list from the Imperial Guard. I like it. He's cut down on his troops and has gone for more vehicles. It's good firepower there. And he's got air support as well. So it'd be interesting. He's taking on a tough opponent, the Necrons. That's a tough list. They've performed well in previous games. But we'll see how James does. We know he's going to fight well. But will he play well enough to win the game? People have been saying, well, Luke, you win a lot of the games. So should I just let James win? No, I don't think so. If he's going to beat me, he's going to do it. Well,
we love, that's all that matters.
He'll do it properly. If he wins, he deserves it. So we're going to go on now, find out what the scenario is, and move on to deployment for this classic encounter as Guard take on the Necron machine.
Bring it on.
Right, it's the fight for the radar station. We've rolled up the scenario. It is the Scouring. So it's objective markers, 6 of them. Each of them has a random value. And it's Vanguard Strike deployment. So there is an orange line of dice running across the table to the other end. And then on the right hand side, the Imperial Guard will be deploying there. And then the Necrons will be deploying in this corner of the table. Now we randomised it. We got the result that we were wanting. And that is that one of the forces would be deploying this compound here. And I won the dice roll, but decided to let James go first. And so he has naturally chosen to take the compound as his deployment zone. So that's the scenario. Imperial Guard on the fringe of a planetary defence, defending this radar station here, and then the Necrons will be turning up to try and neutralise that position. So I'm going to go on now to deployment for both the forces in this classic game. So James has deployed first, and he's claimed the hillside with his mechanised guard here. Good view out across the table. So you've got PASK in the middle with that Vanquisher cannon there, flanked either side with the 2 demolishers. Good firepower, and then behind here is the Hellhound just after a bit of covering fire. Going to be a handy template weapon, the AP4. Strength 6. He's deployed one of the platoons just here on the left hand side. So he's held right back. He's wary of the monoliths with those templates and hopes to disrupt the Necrons from distance. So then coming round, I can see the view that he has, and in reaction to that, Necrons aren't stupid. And they've deployed on the other side of the radar station, out of line of sight of the Imperial Guard force. So the 2 monoliths are sitting there. In between them there's a unit of Scarabs, another unit of Scarabs at the back, and the Tomb Spiders are there, and then the Ghost Ark with the Commander and the Warriors inside. Right, so the Imperial Guard, James's reserve is 1 platoon with the commanding the Chimera there, and then one of the Hellhounds, and then of course his air power will be coming on, so that will make the game nice and interesting. And then for the Necrons in reserve, the 2 Night Sires will be flying on. Are going to be a helpful couple of units to have in this game. The Catacomb Command Barge, and then the Wraiths will be coming on from reserve as well. Now, in this scenario, in the Scouring, fast attack choices count as scoring units. So for the Necrons, it will be these Wraiths. Now, the 2 units of Scarabs are fast attack choices, but they are swarms, so they won't count as far as we understand the rules. For James, with the Imperial Guard, the Valkyrie, which can go into hover mode, that will count as a scoring unit. And also the Hellhounds, the one there, and the one in reserve will count as scoring units. Also get a point if we manage to destroy them. So those are key units in this game. So we're going to move on now to the first turn of the game. In fact, we'll roll it up now. So roll it up now to see if we can seize the initiative. On a 1, we don't. So we're going to move on now to Imperial Guard, turn 1. So for the scenario, there are 6 objectives, and we've rolled up for the random value of each. There's a double 3 here for the edge of the compound. So there's 1 here and 1 here. Both of those are worth 3. The one back here is worth 2, So there's a fair amount of value in the middle. And then coming around, one here just at the entrance is worth 2, the one just on the left is worth 1, and then the Imperial Guard sitting on the number 4 objective. So that's a good start for the Guard. They'll hug that hillside to hold that number 4, and then they'll send down units to try and claim the others. But at the same time, the Necrons can move up and take a 2 and a double 3 here. So there's a challenge for both sides. Right, so movement for the Guard. So the infantry are staying put. Demolisher's moved down to the left-hand side. Looks like he's trying to get an angle over towards monoliths there. And then PASK has edged down, and then again peeling round to the side here. So really this central piece of terrain, the radar station, is blocking a lot of line of sight. So the Guard are manoeuvring into position to try and draw some fire onto the Necron position. So I'm going to move on now to Imperial Guard shooting. It is night fighting at the moment, so that will affect the ability for James to hit any targets. Even if he can, we'll have to measure up and see if he can take on the Necrons on this turn. So the Guard are just manoeuvring here. They're kind of edgy about this Necron force, not to be lured in by them. So it's not really much shooting going. I fired a las cannon from the Demolisher at the far end, then missed. And that's about it. It's just repositioning his vehicles, and that will be the end of Imperial Guard turn 1. The Guard aren't really sure exactly what's going to happen, sort of waiting for the Necrons to move out. So it's all quiet at the moment. But as we see in all of the battle reports that we play, things will start picking up turn 2 onwards. And it also helps that in the Ghost Arc here, my Warlord rolled, and he is a strategic genius, so he will be re-rolling reserve rolls, which will be nice and handy in this scenario. So I'm going to move on now to Necron turn 1. Alright, Necron turn 1. Necrons have moved out across, sort of bunching together. Using the terrain to cover them as they manoeuvre in. Can't totally cover ourselves. The Imperial Guard tanks will be able to see us, but trying to gain that cover save. The Scarabs have moved fast. We bred 3 more of them. Took 1 wound as we did so, but they then moved out 12, and we've done their run move an extra inch as well. So they are at the gates of the radar station, so they've made it across the table at nice fast speed, and then the second unit is just squeezing in between the monoliths there. So Scarabs moving up and breeding at the same time, and then behind the cover of the monoliths is the Tomb Spiders and the Ghost Arc as well. So that cluster of Necrons there, that core force, is moving out across the table to try and claim these objectives. So it's a quiet turn, no shooting from the Necrons, no combats, no charges. Nice quiet turn on turn 1, and night fighting is over. And as the sun rises on this battlefield, the Imperial Guard awake to see the machine heading towards them. So Imperial Guard turn 2 coming up. Imperial Guard turn 2, and have the Necrons been led into a trap because the Imperial Guard are coming out of the compound. Well, they're manoeuvring around the building on 2 flanks. So, Hellhound moving out with the Demolisher in support, and the infantry squad there at the back. They're going to be assaulting that monolith. Air support's arrived. It's flown on an angle here, 18 inches in. More infantry arriving here. Looks like the upper 2nd platoon has arrived in support, coming up behind the Chimeras there, and then Demolisher and PASK on this flank with an angle to the other monolith. So there's going to be some incoming fire at the monoliths. So it could be, well, I think it's going to be first blood to the Imperial Guard if they shoot well enough. And the Necrons have been sucked into what could be a whole load of fireworks. So we'll move on now to Imperial Guard shooting on turn 2, see how well they do. Confidence returns to the Imperial Guard as the Hellhound has just hosed and down and burnt out my whole unit of Scarabs. That was a bad move from the Necrons, bad move, and the Hellhound has taken advantage of that, firing up through the chain link fence around the corner almost and wiping out that unit of Scarabs. That's a bad blow to the Necrons. So he gets for that first blood, and it's a recon fast attack kill point. So 2-0 to the Imperial Guard on turn 2 so far in the shooting phase. Alright, shooting from the Imperial Guard. Firepower from these 2 tanks has caused 1 glancing hit on this monolith, so we've got away quite lightly there. And you can see that the other monolith's alive. It made a cover save and survived the incoming attack from the Demolisher there. So really the only casualty was a wipeout on those Scarab swarms. That was from the Hellhound. It was good shooting, good manoeuvring from the Imperial Guard. Hellhound's a handy vehicle to have. So we're going to go over now to Necron turn 2 and see if we can pull off a manoeuvre to swing the game in our favour. So Necron turn 2 coming up in the fight for the radar station. So I've got a plan for the Necrons, with the commander being a strategic genius. So this one coming in, we want it to arrive a 2. We'll re-roll that. Yes. First night scythe is in. Second night scythe arrives. We want everything on this turn a 2. We'll re-roll that. 2 again. Command barge isn't in, and then the Wraiths on a 3. They are in. So not bad going. Most of the reserves are turned up, which is what we wanted. And you'll see this manoeuvre coming up. We'll see if we can pull it off and catch the guard unawares. Alright, Necron turn 2. Whoever said the Necrons were slow? 2 night scythes have turned up, and we're catching those vehicles on the flank, and perhaps this one may go hunting for that Valkyrie over there. It's just in range. And then the Wraiths have arrived, jumped over the woods and the fence, and have gone in 12 inches from reserve there. This Necron monolith has swung around, so the idea is that he's now got this problem to deal with, and that will, he's got to split his fire. He can't take on both. So that's what the monoliths can do. They can draw the enemy fire in as a distraction. Lost a whole Tomb Spider. Rolled a 1-1 on my Scarab base roll. Devastating result. So that's not good, but we have still bred the 3 Scarab bases. You'll see where they've gone in just a moment. And then the Ghost Ark has moved up just under the cover of the monoliths. Again, safe, just carrying the troops on towards the objective. The other monoliths just peeled round to the left. You can see it there as we reach the radar station. And then the Scarabs up and over through the terrain with their swarms, beast special rule, and they are seeking revenge on the Hellhound. So, quick manoeuvring and fast speed from the Necrons on turn 2. We'll see how effective they can do in the shooting phase. So we'll do the night side attack. We'll fire this one down at the side of the Demolisher. What's your side armour?
13.
Oh. Right. Alright, I declared it, didn't realise he was armour 13. It's annoying, but got 4 hits and rolled 2 6s, so 2 hull points on the tank. Not bad, won't complain at that. That's good going from the night side. Now the other one, we're going to fire across, and over at the Valkyrie, over there, we are within range. So we want freeze to hit, twin linked. They've all hit. And we're on strength 7, what's your armour? 12. Armour 12, so nice high rolls. 3 1s and a 3. Rolling a lot of 1s tonight. Rolling a lot of 1s, that's not good. So we'll go on to the rest of Necron shooting on turn 2. Necron shooting on turn 2. The Wraithseal just shuffled up an inch on their run move. And then as we've seen, the Night Side was firing down 2 glancing hits from the one on the right on that Demolisher. It was a good result. And this one was awful against the Valkyries. The Valkyries still surviving. And then no damage from this monolith firing template down at his heavy supports there. Particle Whip not strong enough. Just move these guys up a couple of inches, and the Ghost Dark as well. And then coming around, fired the Particle Whip down from the monolith, and it has destroyed the Hellhound. That's and the explosion from that caused 2 wounds on the Scarabs. So now we'll move on to assaults for the Necrons. We'll see if those Scarabs will be able to reach this Demolisher. That would be a slick move if they're able to make it. So I'll roll that up and see how we do. So let's measure up that distance between him and there. So it looks like about 8 inches. Just within 8 inches, need 8. So we get 3d6, we're going to take away the best, but I'm fleet, so we're going to get to re-roll any number of dice. 2 1s and a 2. What is going on? The Necrons can't roll dice tonight. Let's try again. A 1, a 2 and a 3. Something strange is going on. I know what it is. The Necrons... Luck. No, it's not luck. The Necrons have got rusty. They haven't played for long enough, and they've gone rusty, and they're not doing very well at all. So that's the end of Necron turn 2. Imperial Guard is shaping up to seek revenge in turn 3. It's going to move on now to Imperial Guard turn 3 coming up. Ladies and gentlemen, James has turned aggressive. Imperial Guard are taking the fight to the Necrons. New philosophy from James. He's been listening to the comments, I think, on the YouTube videos, and he's out hunting down the Necrons. So, still hard one to call at this stage, but Guard taking the fight to the Necrons, there's no doubt about it. The Valkyries swung around to take on the Night Sibes in the air, and it looks like a lot of his forces are advancing forwards as well. So Imperial Guard movement on turn 3 we're on now. Game's moving along. Valkyrie's swung around and is looking to engage one of the Night Sibes. That's aggressive manoeuvring from James. And coming around, really it's this half of the table the action is in, and that's where all the objectives are. The Demolisher's sitting still, the infantry squad, and then it looks like his command team's got out with the Flamer to take on the Scarabs, so they're in trouble as well. Chimera's spun around, and he's just holding back on the objective there, holding his position, and then the 2 tanks sitting there to take on the Necrons as well. So going to be a lot of firepower from the Imperial Guard as they move into their shooting. Imperial Guard firepower coming down. Now I've noticed playing Imperial Guard games with the Imperial Guard that if you don't kill their stuff by turn 3, turn 4, and they still have their heavy firepower intact, then usually Guard will win the game. They'll just pound the enemy into the dust. Now look at what the Necrons have done. Haven't really made much impact yet. So Necron turn 3 will be critical, and Imperial Guard shooting at the moment will be critical. How much of the Necrons can they take out? So pivotal point of the game as we continue with Imperial Guard shooting on turn 3. Right, well, we were just mocking the Valkyrie because James was saying he was just going to try and glance me to death with heavy bolters. He got a whole load of hits with him, and he's caused 2 glancing hits on this night side, so we created a problem. Roll up your las cannon, see if you hit with that, and you'll create some trouble. Now he's got a 1. So we've got a decision to make. We could try and jink that, it may be worth it. Or just risk staying on 2. We will take the 2 hits. We'll take the 2 glances, but I'm going to roll anyway, just to see what I would have got. Wouldn't have got it, so good manoeuvring. We keep our full ballistic skill, but that's damage dealt out by the Valkyrie, so that's impressive stuff. And we won't be able to get an angle to shoot back at it on our next turn, so James's air power coming in handy there. Alright, Imperial Guard shooting on turn 3. It's been pretty effective. So, we've seen already the 2 glancing hits on the night side there, coming in from the heavy bolters, would you believe it, from the Valkyrie. Then he tried aiming up with the chimeras, the autocannons firing out, and the multi-lasers and heavy bolters, but failed to do any more damage to that night side there. And then the demolisher firing through and PASK between them managed to do 2 more hull points. There's only 1 hull point left, and scored a 1, forcing me to do snapshots, and I failed my molten metal or living metal save with that, so that result is effective on my next turn for the Necrons. And then come around the other side, it was effective firepower from the command squad with that heavy flamer and multi-melters and plasma pistols. Nice combination he's got there. And with firepower from down here, has reduced the Scarab swarm down, but 1 base left. Critical result there. That 1 base is still alive. If I can get that back to the tomb spiders and breed some more, then that unit can build up its strength once again. But pretty good firepower coming in from the Guard. But the question is, will it be enough to stop the Necrons as we go into Necron turn 3? And here he is. The radar station is mine. Right, Necron turn 3, we're asking ourselves, has the rot started for the Imperial Guard? The Wraiths have jumped up 12 and are closing in quick on that Imperial Guard position. Nasty unit. They haven't been dealt with, haven't been touched yet. Fresh unit moving in. There's going to be trouble. So the Wraiths have moved there. One of the night sides, one on the right hand side, swung around, has gone 18 inches and is chasing the Chimera through the gap there. And the other one's turned and zoomed off the table. It's left combat airspace to come on again. Catacomb Command Barge has arrived. It's gone 12. We'll be looking to move up. Now with this distraction, that's freed up the monolith to move around. It's moved up to the fence. Now we've saved the Scarab base. It's scooted along here. It's just tucked in the corner, and then the tomb spider's moving up to add more scarabs next turn. Ghost Duck's moved up, looking perhaps to fire up with our Gore's weapons at the fly there. Just looking for a lucky hit. Then coming around, the monolith has burst through the chain link fence. That's not going to stop it as it comes through. Moving in and looking to take on this Imperial Guard position. So aggressive manoeuvring from the Necrons as well, both sides being aggressive, which will prevail as we're going to Necron shooting on turn 3. It's a real mixed up game, classic showdown, and both sides head to head really, both sides showing aggression. Let's see how the Necrons do. Right, shooting for the Necrons on their turn 3, pretty effective. The Catacomb Command Barge has boosted up and gone round to the flank here, swinging around on the Imperial Guard position. Snap fire from here, no damage. And then the Ghost Arcs fired up and got 4 snap fire hits, but no gauze. Rolls of a 6 on the Valkyrie, so not much damage there, but damage was done on the Imperial Guard right flank. Monolith bursting through, firing down, and has caused the Guard elected to go to ground. Got 10 saves to make and failed 6, so that squad has been damaged, to say the least. And then the Night Sight firing down destroyed the Chimera in spectacular style. So Necrons beginning to carve up the Imperial Guard, and closing in. Necrons would have the advantage up close. So we'll move on now to Necron assaults. It's frustrating for the Guard, but the game isn't over. They will fight tooth for now, and we'll see how well the Necrons can do in the assault phase as the Wraiths pile in. So we'll do this combat here. What I'm going to do is elect to charge these two. They will fight against PASK's vehicle, so it's a base of 3 attacks each. Now we don't get the extra one for charging, it's disorder charge because we charged multiple targets, but it's 3s we want. That's good going. Now it's strength 6, rending, so what's your rear armour?
PASK is 10.
10. So, on that kind of roll, PASK is no more. We'll see if we can blow PASK up in style. 5. Well, he's wrecked at least. That's the end of... Alright, so that's the end of PASK. Roll of 5 plus 1 for AP2. The rending hit means that he's blown sky high. So PASK is... well, there's not much left of him. So then we'll go on to the Demolition. That's already on 2 glancing hits. And that's been attacked by... If the Demolisher survives, it will be a miracle. Right, it's frustration from James as the Necrons begin to dominate. Right, anyway. So we're on 12 attacks now. With these, so we want 3s to hit. Not very good. There's a fair few misses there. Ross the rear armour on Demolisher. 11s, that will help. It will help because we've caused a glance. How many hard points have you got? But that glancing, it was enough. He was already on 2, so that's the end of the Demolisher as well. That's a nasty blow to the Guard. Can they recover from that? They'll need tenacity, they'll need wit, they'll need strength, they'll need cunning, but the game's not over yet. So the lesson's been learnt. Don't ignore Necron Wraiths. They have reaped a horrific revenge on the Guard there. So it's a bad policy to ignore them. They've got through and have caused horrendous damage on the Guard position. But it's not over yet. Perhaps the Guard can salvage this situation. You may see history made. It looks dire, but we'll keep running the game. We'll see what James can do as we go into Imperial Guard turn 4. So he is thinking of a strategy. We call James Wounded Bear. That means that when he's down, it's then that it is most dangerous. He's taking his time and he's thinking up what he can do to salvage a situation. What would you do in this game to pull victory from defeat? The Necron horror advances, destroying all in its path, but there's still guardsmen on the table, and so the game can still be salvaged. So we'll see what James does. We'll see if he can pull this one out the bag. It's a big task, but he'll give it a go. Right, Imperial Guard turn 4. Valkyrie's gone into hover mode and spun around and has let out the veteran squad. He's got a heavy flamer there with an angle across the Wraiths, a couple of melter guns as well, and then he's got massed infantry and chimeras. The aim is to take out the Wraiths. If he can do that, then that will loosen up that position, at least for a while. Come around, he's just really had to ignore the Necrons behind the radar station. And then this squad is moved into position with the 2 melters, and they will be looking to take out the monolith there. Demolisher's swung around. You can either turn that turret later on to fire over there, or fire across in support. And then the chimeras swung around and looking to support the firepower coming down on the Wraiths as well. And the Hellhound has arrived with that strength 6 template weapon. So Imperial Guard shooting on this turn is going to be critical. He's looking to get a wipeout on the Wraiths. It will eliminate a unit, and it will score him a point for killing a recon, a fast attack unit choice. So critical rolling and massed firepower for the Guard on turn 4. Okay, we're going to see how he does. He's got 2 melters there. They are within 6 inches. Going to try and take on this monolith. He's done his orders, so he gets twin linked with them when he shoots. What's their ballistic skill? 4. So freeze to hit rerolls. He's got the 2 hits. So armor 14.
First melter.
Go on then.
So that
13. Oh. And the last melter. Oh, double 6. Very good. Now, +2. So 1 dice. Here comes another Imperial Guard 1.
The kiss of death. Back.
Oh, it's the end of the monolith. So it's started well for the Guard. That's good going. So there's nothing really within 6. Well, James is within 6 actually. So roll it up. See how big we blow up. 2 inches. That'll do. So that's the end of the monolith, and not much mess. Good start from the Guard. One thing we noticed this game, we are actually beginning to run out of craters. There's craters all over this battlefield. But that's good revenge from the Guard. And as I said, game isn't over yet. So keep going, see what he can do next. Right, ladies and gentlemen, the Wraiths are still there. There's 1.5 of them left. Squad fired through. There's damage from there. 1 Wraith was killed from the Demolisher firing through the ordnance weapon, and then the Hellhound killed 1, and then just multiple hits from the Chimeras and from the infantry squads has whittled them down to just 2 Wraiths left, and 1 of them already on a wound. They're fearless, they stay where they are, but the entire Guard force had to fire at them to bring them down to that strength. It just shows what a nightmare that unit is with that 3+ in 1 save and 2 wounds. But that's Imperial Guard shooting done. It's eased the situation a little bit, but that Wraith unit is still able to fight. So, I'm going to move on now to Necron turn 4. Right, Necron turn 4. The Wraiths have hopped, skipped and jumped over, and are chasing that Hellhound, that fast attack choice, over on the 4-point objective. Just the 2 of them. Fearless suicide charge. The command bar just moved up and he's gone around. He's going to try and take on that veteran squad. And then the Scarabs, bred 2 Scarabs, and they've gone 12, and they're going to try and get the Valkyrie, which has gone into hover mode. Monolith's gone through the fence and has managed to get itself stuck on roll of a 1, so that's immobilised. And then the Spiders have moved around behind the monolith as well. Right, the damaged Night Scythe has come on again now and has got a rear end shot against the Valkyrie, really hunting down the Imperial Guard air power. And then the Necron warriors have disembarked from the Ghost Ark and are claiming the 3-point objective just around the corner, and they're going to fire down this alleyway here, perhaps try and take on the infantry or the Demolisher. So Necron's moving in, a little bit thin there, not too much stuff left. I imagine the Guard are going to hold on to this 4-point objective on the hillside, but we'll see how the game goes as we move into Necron shooting on turn 4. Let's see if the Night Scythe gets some hits. There's a double 1 there, so we'll re-roll them. Ooh. So we get a bonus of 2 hits there. 6 hits, strength 7, rear armour 10. So I think that's the end of the Valkyrie. He gets a save, he's saved 2 of them, and so with 1 penetrating hit, it's going to be a 6. Just feel that it is. Oh, a 5. Result of a 5, so you've managed to immobilise it and get a hull point. It's not destroyed, but some damage has been dealt out by the Night Scythe from behind. Alright. Oh dear, one of those moments. Right, the monolith here tried to particle whip. The monolith tried to particle whip the Valkyrie. We wanted it to land here, missed, we've scattered back 5, and we've hit both of us. Problem. I rolled a 6 here, so it's a glancing hit. It's already got 3 glancing hits, so the monolith has destroyed itself. And now we're going to roll to see if we can take the Valkyrie with us. So your armour is 10. Oh, you're joking. A glance, 1 glance on a 2. 8 and 2 is 10, so we've got 1 glance, but it's cost us a monolith. That is a blunder on the part of the Necrons. Right, so Necron shooting on turn 4. Bizarre turn of events. The monolith blew up itself with its own whip. 2 hull points of damage done on the Valkyrie, and it's immobilised, so it's stuck there. And then coming around, the Ghost Ark and the disembarked Necron warriors fired through, and they've eliminated, well, most eliminated that threat there from their infantry unit. There was a heavy flamer there and 2 melters, but they've been killed, so that's pretty good going. Past morale there with James's troops, and now it's just Necron assaults. There will be a few. The Necron Wraiths are going to pile in if they can make it, and then the Catacomb Command Barge charging forwards, and the Scarabs as well. So a couple of key combats there for the Necrons, who at the moment are quite comfortable in the game, despite the blunders from the monolith. So we'll move on to assaults for the Necrons in turn 4. Right, so Necron assaults, they've all gone in. The Catacomb Command Barge has reached the veteran squad, and the Scarabs now are crawling all over the Valkyrie, and then the Wraiths have made it into combat as well. So we're going to get these ones resolved. We'll see what results we can get. We'll see if the Overlord's going to issue a challenge, or the other way around. Over Commissar Gaunt, who's in that unit, will challenge back. We'll see what happens. Right, results on the combats for the Necrons. The Wraiths didn't do too well. Only caused 1 glancing hit on the Hellhound, so disappointment there. That vehicle's freed up now to move around next turn. The Valkyrie was brought down in style by the Scarabs, so there's a big burning pile here around this ammo dump. And the compound, a lot of burning vehicles in this game, but that's typical for Imperial Guard versus Necrons. And then the Command Barge charged into combat. Gaunt didn't issue a challenge, James's Sergeant did, just trying to buy some time. The Overlord accepted the challenge, killed the Sergeant, but with Gaunt, with Stubborn and LD10, the Guard unit has held its ground, but the Overlord is after James's Warlord. Not sure what James can do about that. He's locked in combat with that Chariot. So that's the end of Necron turn 4. So we're going to go on to turn 5 now for the Imperial Guard. Again, James has got to think about what he's doing, and he can see if he can salvage this situation. And it's a case of adding up these objective points to see if he can win the game. Necron's sitting on a 3-pointer. Imperial Guard were on a 4-pointer. It's contested by the race, but they could be eliminated. So the game's not over yet. We're going to go into turn 5, see what the Imperial Guard can do. Here we go. Right, Imperial Guard movement on turn 5. The Demolishers swung around with support from a few infantry, and they're going to push through in this direction towards the unit that's holding the objective, the Necron Overlord. So again, it's just a face-off there with the Guard, and he's holding his position, trying to hold on to that 4-point objective. And it looks like he's going to try and finish off the Wraiths. Infantry unit holding position. And this infantry squad just moving down the hill, moving off towards the 2-point objective. So we're going to move on now to Imperial Guard shooting on turn 5. Right, Imperial Guard shooting on turn 5. Demolisher firing down, missed wildly, so didn't do any damage. Just trying to hit the Ghost Ark. Infantry firing down, no damage on the Necron warriors. And then coming across, he has managed to eliminate the Wraiths. They are gone, and the 4-point objective is now held by the Imperial Guard. The Hellhound counts as a scoring unit in this scenario. So the hillside secure once again from the Guard. All shooting's done. Failed to eliminate the Scarabs there, still amongst the burning Valkyrie. So we're going to move on to assaults now for Imperial Guard. There's no charges from the Guard, but Commissar Gaunt is locked in combat with the Necron Overlord. We'll resolve that combat now. Right, combat results went well for the Guard. Gaunt didn't issue a challenge. The Overlord did. The Overlord challenged Gaunt. Gaunt backed out. James is happy to do that. And then the Overlord, are 2 2s and a 1. Again, some poor rolls this game from the Necrons. Which caused no damage against the Guard. So that's a drawn man. It continues, which is a good result for the Imperial Guard. This side of the table is pretty secure, and they hold the weight of the objective. So game is far from over. We're going to move on now to Necron turn 5. The game could end at the end of this turn. Right, Necron turn 5, the Catacomb Command Barge remains in combat there. Then coming around right on the top of the radar station, the Night Side's moved up and over. It's dropped off its troops, so we're now holding that objective. Second Night Side has arrived, still with troops inside. That's come on this angle, flying across, looking for an angle next turn, looking to drop off troops. Scarabs have fallen back. We know they can't hold the objective. We've fallen back just to try and keep them alive, back with the spiders. Ghost Ark has just moved an inch just to get the Jinx save, and then the Warriors have readjusted here just to get some more shots off at the Demolisher tank. So that's the movement from the Necrons, just looking to pick up objective points and keep other units alive. So we're going to go into Necron shooting now on turn 5. See if that Night Side is in range and can take on the Hellhound. Be spectacular firepower if we can bring that down. Well, it's happened again. When you think the Necrons are down, they bounce back with style. So it was Gore's weapon hits from the Warrior squad, and then finally one glancing hit from the Ghost Ark has glanced the Demolishers to death, and then spectacular firepower coming down. A triple glance destroyed the Hellhound. So that's picked up a point, and he's out of 3 inches here. He's not holding that objective. So it's a devastating blow on turn 5 for the Imperial Guard. A tank graveyard. There's just 2 Chimeras left alive, and the rest are just craters and burning wrecks. So we'll finish off that assault with the command barge, and then we'll see if the game finishes. Right, done results there. The Overlord this time killed 2 guardsmen, but he passed them around a 5. So that melee again continues on the objective, the 1-point objective there. So James is going to roll up. He's going to roll dice. See if the game continues. It does. He's rolled a 4. So we're going to move on to Imperial Guard turn 6. Right, Imperial Guard turn 6. A couple of guards moved up behind the barrels, just the last remnants on the right hand flank there, facing off against a nasty Overlord and his unit there. Units crowded down here to claim a 2-point objective. This Chimera's just holding its position, and then the 2 infantry squads have moved out across to hold the 4-point objective. So that's the basic movement from the guard, just holding, trying to reclaim points, and then the continuing melee there. So we're going to do shooting now for Imperial Guard turn 6. Alright, so Imperial Guard shooting. We've done no damage. Well, there actually was. The unit fired through, killed a warrior, and failed the reanimation protocols. So that's the end of one of the Necron warriors. And then that squad's just moved down, holding the objective. And then this squad, both squads holding the objective here. We've done melees. The Calican command barge killed 2 more. And then the morale was bust by James's unit. Commissar Gaunt shot the last guardsman, still failed to stand his ground, and his run-off managed to get away and run off 8 inches. So Gaunt's on the run, James's warlord running away. So we're just going to go on now to, it looks like a Necron victory, to go on now to Necron turn 6. So Necron command barge has moved down. We've done movement and shooting all in one here. Command barge has moved through and shot the Gauls cannon and killed 3 guardsmen. Bred some more scarabs down here, and the warriors have got out of the night scythes. That objective is now held by the Necrons, and this one, and this one, and the night scythe up the top here fired down, causing 2 glancing hits on the Chimera at the back. And then this squad, the Ghost Ark, recreated a new Necron, and the squad fired through and wiped out the infantry unit, so really mopping up from the Necrons there. And then now the command barge just to charge in and contest that objective. So just the combat there. The Overlord charged in, his hammer of Roth attacks, killed a load of guardsmen. The commander there issued a challenge with the power fist, Overlord killed him. And then James's guardsmen, it's just 3 guys, striking back. And I caused 2 wounds and I rolled a double 1, so I actually lost 2 wounds, but we still won the combat. James passed morale, but that objective is now contested. We're going to calculate up points. We're pretty sure on the conclusion of this one, it's quite clear. So Imperial Guard got a point for first blood, and they killed the scarab bases, so that, and the wraiths, so that's 3 points, and holding a 4-point objective here, so that's 7. It's not bad. So the Necrons killed the 2 Hellhounds and the Valkyrie, that's 3 points. And they got a line breaker with the Calican command barge, that's 4 points. And then points for objectives is 3 points here, holding this one, 2 points here, and 3 points here. So 4 points, and 6 and 2's 12. 12 points against 7, so pretty clear Necron victory on this game. Necrons against Guard. Guard started off pretty well, but the Necrons pushed through and secured victory in the end. It was Necron air power that really had the effect on the game, and those wraiths bursting through. So Imperial Guard vowed to be back, as they always do, and James will work on another list to take on a new opponent in the future.